Hello viewers, I'm SB and welcome back to At the Gates, where we are trying to find somewhere to move to. I'm uncomfortable with all of our neighbors and the amount of bandit activity here. Like, this area is resource rich, but it's also people rich, and I would like to live in a place that is slightly less people rich. So we have some grassland tiles down here with some animals. There's a mineral deposit over there that nobody owns yet. I'm thinking somewhere around here might be good, but we need to feel out the positions of more deposits before we make that decision. I gotta say, I was thinking about this last night. I understand why you would want to not put music in your game, both from a sort of establishing a tone perspective and also from a music is expensive and difficult to make perspective. But boy, I wish there was some music. You know, just some nice gentle ambient music would be really nice. Yeah, I guess let's check out over here. So, we have even more bandit camps, and it becomes desert again. There's like 4 grassland tiles. But we do have a couple of deposits here. We got some plants, we got some animals. Maybe we move down here. We'll keep exploring for the moment. Who else needs orders? This archer probably is not actually fighting this guy. I was going to use the archer to make it safe for this other clan to move back over here. So why don't you... Yeah, why don't you, I guess, dig in for a turn? Look at that. I can also erect wooden stakes in the ground. What do you think of that? They probably have no feelings about that. They probably don't care even a tiny little bit. I'm not really sure what's going to happen when we pick up and move our settlement. Which is a big part of the reason I want to do it, right? Okay, Alboin has agreed to follow the religion of Clovis. Do we know all these players? Hold on. There's diplomatic stuff going on here. I only know Alboin and Genseric. I don't know who Clovis is. So there's another person somewhere around here. Interesting that we get notifications including the names of factions that we have not yet met. Okay, this gatherer has run out of stuff to gather. We need our Reaper to get back over here to the flax, which is no longer cold. So, gatherer, what do I do with you? I mean, we have deposits that we could just come over here and examine. I wonder if there's a maximum range away from your settlement that your gatherers can operate at? Oh, we have a bandit raider, but he is all torn up. Something horrible has happened to this man. Well, it looks like it's a big desert over here. That kind of sucks. Wait, that was all of your movement? Also, only 1 move point to enter. I guess it's because they crossed the border? But if that's the case, then when I clicked here, why didn't they try to path through the space that wouldn't take all their movement? I assume that they chose the fastest path, right? Alright, so... we're about to get our archer upgrade. I don't know how upgrades are actually applied. Like, can you upgrade a unit in the field, or do they have to come back to the settlement? It wouldn't be a big deal if they did. Our archer's going to be running past our settlement anyway. Alright, so we still don't really have a great... I mean, you're a crafter, right? We can make you a potter. And we have a bunch of gatherers and stuff. Yeah, that'll do for now. And then, do we have a plan for this guy? He's competitive. And he would like to be inside the settlement, which is an unfortunate thing for him being competitive. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know exactly what we'll do with him. Alright. The caravan's about to arrive here, and we actually have quite a bit of treasure. Hopefully we can buy some cloth and expand our clan limit. Parchment. Parchment's not what we need, right? Parchment's for training in disciplines. Yeah, I need cloth. Well, that's a shame. They do have tools and weapons for sale, and I think we probably ought to buy these. We need weapons for our military unit upgrades. And in theory, we might end up needing a lot of tools for upgrading to higher level professions. We currently don't have a way of building any because there's no mineral deposits anywhere. Alright, I think we're going to identify that deposit, or I guess we could just go to these berries. We know that these are berries. Yeah, let's do that. Alright, what is this huge line? Is this the bottom of the world? Because it is expanding over our vision. Yeah, it looks like maybe it's the bottom. Yeah, because I can't see beyond that. Well, that's weird. And I guess really you can just hang out right here for the moment. So we have this archer upgrade. Do I have to move back to the settlement? Here, let's check the help screen about upgrades. Maybe there's an upgrade thing. Might be in professions. Alright. Being in an active profession allows a clan to perform actions on the map. Let's see, is any of this... Okay. Want to focus on training classes and professions that relate directly to your on-map situations. Not really that helpful. Okay. Let's go back to the settlement here. And then you, I would like to train you in more archery. No? That's not how we do this. Let's have a look at the profession screen then. All right, we have Archer Upgrade 1. Spend 10 weapons to upgrade +2 power available to archers. That is definitely what we want to be doing. I want to be doing that to you. So we don't have an upgrade button. I'm certainly not ennobling a clan. We don't have the cloth to increase our clan limit. We are certainly not declaring a kingdom here. We need a bunch of parchment for that. We all have to write down what a good idea we think it is for there to be a kingdom here. Ah, there's a little upgrade button on the portrait. Okay, I don't know if I could have done that outside of the settlement. We'll pay a little bit more attention next time we have the opportunity. But now, this archer is really powerful, and in theory we could probably mess up these bandits pretty badly. The enemy is crippled and driven off, your victorious army left bloodied and sore. But the thing is, there's not a lot of reason for me to do that, right? If we're planning on just leaving this area, these bandits are extremely somebody else's problem. Alright, so you are a potter, and you need an actual job. Well, we've been going through our wood pretty quickly. We already have some guides, but it doesn't seem like it would be terrible to have more. I would think we would want more diversity of professions, though, for handling situations around us. I'm wondering if we maybe should just have a second wood collector. They want to be settled, though. Yeah, maybe we just make another guide. Because our economy is entirely foraging-based right now. Yeah, sure. Want to be in the settlement? Let's let them be in the settlement. Okay, so what we need now, honestly, a settled profession that increases the output of our wood collectors would be kind of a cool thing to have. Pretty much just wood bundlers. That's a real shame, because you need tools for that. How about if we research upgrades to the wood collectors? I mean, we have some tools, right? I do have 10. How much does it cost to train? It would cost all of our tools to train one person as a wood bundler. Might be worthwhile, because it does seem like timber is pretty important, and we do not have a lot coming in right now. Alright, hold on. Let's start with our explorer. Okay, I like all of these mineral deposits. Yeah, I want to move south. I want to move south, and I think we know approximately where now. So, we're going to finish researching these, or maybe I'm not even. Maybe we just pick up and go. It's like somewhere down here by these grasslands. Seems like an okay idea. Remember, like, the resources don't have to be in our border. We have a lot of cleanup to play over here. Apparently, fishermen do not have a lot of vision. Alright, how do I pick up my settlement? How do we do this? Packing up your settlement allows it to move around the map like an army. While your settlement is packed, you will no longer be able to train. However, with at least one move point remaining, it can be unpacked at any time. This will result in the current training project being aborted, and all resources spent on it will be refunded. Yeah, you know what? I'm fine with that. Let's do this. Let's do this thing. So we'll pack it up. Apparently we get to keep doing research. I expected that also would be halted. So we got to get some cloth. I think this is our next sort of near-term goal, is figuring out how we are going to accumulate cloth. Alright, so your settlement moves pretty quickly. That's cool. Start foraging. The archer should be moving along with the settlement. It's interesting that our national borders just sort of move along with it. I assumed that we would basically just not have borders until we put it back down. Alright, yeah, and it doesn't seem too dangerous down here. I mean, like, there's definitely bandits, but we can... With our super-powered archer clan, I think we can probably handle them. I am now showing 11 of 12 clans. That's interesting. Why am I showing 11 of 12 clans instead of 12 of 12 clans? Did somebody actually leave? I assume it would be very bad if our settlement got attacked. So I'm a little nervous about having moved all the way adjacent to that guy, but this is how we find things out, I guess. We will see if it actually has any effect at all. Alright, now that we have access to wood bundlers, cloth. We need cloth. That's a livestock thing, right? Trappers can make cloth and parchment. Do they cost anything to train? No, they have the... Okay. Trappers actually seem real useful. Trappers seem like maybe the kind of thing I should have gotten some of earlier. Oh no! Clovis! Look out for Clovis. Okay. Seems like our archers will be able to put these guys away pretty easily. I took a little bit of damage there. Just a little tiny bit. Morale recovers naturally. Usually recovers by 20% each turn. But damage can only be healed by using the heal command, which actually has a cost. So damage is semi-permanent. That is a thing I know. It's much more permanent than it is in most 4X type games, at least. Well, there just are not fish out here at all. And we'll probably want to move some of our forager type guys south when we finish foraging deposits, because winter up there gets a little harsh. So I don't know exactly where we're going to put down over here. We probably want some of this stuff to be within our borders, so like maybe this tile? You know, like right here puts a fair amount of stuff in our borders, and it keeps us coastal. Oh, supply. Moving across the desert turns out to be unpleasant. Who would have thought? So we don't really need scouting over here so much. I guess he can just head this way. Just continue looking for fish. Alright, I would much rather have you as like a wood bundler. Tell you what, we are far away from trees down here. So can I see, do I have somewhere a button that shows me the full list of all my clans, not just the ones that are sitting in the settlement? Caravan has arrived. It carries parchment and oil, or parchment and alcohol and weapons and tools. Well, we could sell them some of our timber. Or some of our flax. If we wanted to buy more weapons and tools. I think buying the tools is probably a pretty good idea. We're having a hard time producing them right now. So, I would love to have 25 treasure with which to buy these tools. Sell a little bit of flax. Do I want to buy the weapons as well? Because we have kind of a lot of flax right now. And I don't really know that we need it. We certainly don't have the ability to use it. I guess we can convert it into cloth. Yeah, we'll skip the weapons. We have a little bit of a military, and actually cloth would be really useful. And maybe what we ought to study now is weaver. That'd probably be a crafting thing, right? Yeah, here we go. Turn flax into cloth. That seems like a good way to go about things. Alright, moved on to a tile that has some supply. We should probably come down here and identify these deposits. Hopefully she will do that in a relatively safe way. So what is it that we needed to heal? We need oil and bandages? Or oil and cloth, is it? The cloth is 4 bandages, I assume. Surdic. Is Surdic new? Surdic's somebody we didn't know about before, right? Oh, I don't have any move. Yeah, I have to wrap my head around the idea that we are not always going to have access to all of our movement points. This tile has become scorched. This tile over here has 0 supply. This one has 2. So we'll just hang out on the supply tile for a moment. Until this becomes unscorched and we can start gathering its berries again. Are you having the same problem? No, I think I just deforested that tile, actually. Alright, we've run this tile out of food. So down here we see a mineral spring. Water from mineral spring is known to improve health. Armies can heal damage while next to them. Oh, that's interesting. That's a cool thing to find. Yeah, it's probably pretty obvious here. I still do not have a great feel for what we are doing. I'm working it out. Oh, we've been attacked. Who's this guy? This guy is just a random bandit. Well, the battle seems to have gone pretty poorly for us morale-wise. Look at how damaged our morale is. The enemy will be left virtually unscathed. We should probably just bounce then. We'll just, head toward our settlement. Is this still scorched? Yes. Alright. You just hang out. So, we've got an easily cold clan. They do not want to have to spend winter outside the settlement. And they're really good at smithing. And they brought us some tools. Okay. That's cool. I don't know that we have a smithing profession for you. Wow, this bandit army has 6 power. That sucks. Apparently the bandits are improving their military tech right along with us. But the whole world is just, it's a very hot place. It's all deserts everywhere, as far as the eye could see. Well, why don't we move down here and see if maybe we can dislodge some of these other enemies over here first? I guess we can keep foraging for wood up here, because there is no wood to be had down near our new settlement location. Bandits up here are getting a little riled up, though. It might not be safe to leave our wood collector up there. Okay, well, we've been attacked. I think this is probably going really well for us. When they don't have their dug-in bonus, I'm not afraid of them. It's just that we have a hard time approaching them. But now that they've moved a unit out of their bandit camp, we can maybe get rid of it. Yeah, we have a pretty big advantage now. I've seized a bandit camp. Well, pillaging this will take a turn. Army performing this action will have its defense power halved, making it vulnerable to attacks. We'll get some treasure and some weapons and stuff. I think we should not do that right now because the bandit is still alive. We'll pillage his camp after we properly get rid of him. Tile is no longer scorched. Alright, supply critical. Why don't we move to this tile that has a little bit of supply? This is the best we can do, unfortunately. Well, I'm a little bummed out by the way this is going. Those guys are good at pursuit. So it looks like there's a little narrow mountain pass up here that would lead to pink. We are sort of settled into a pretty small area by the wall of these other players. You can train people as weavers. Finish trading somebody as a wood bundler. Alright, you guys would like to be metal workers, huh? Well, I mean, we could just make you a weaponsmith. You wouldn't be doing anything right now, though. If we make them a weaver, we will lose their points of metalworking. We could retrain one of these guys to be a weaver. I really like him being a potter, though. And we paid tools for this. If I train him in something else, we don't get those tools back. And I do think we want one of these. I'm not actually sure what to train you in. Like I said, we could just make him a weaponsmith. Feels pretty bad. They don't want to be outside the settlement during the winter, but we can make him a digger for now, have them check out these mineral deposits, and then just come back. And we can... Mines produce more than foraging with a digger. But when we construct structures, they have to be in my borders, is that right? It doesn't actually say that here. I read something like that on a tooltip somewhere, but I don't remember exactly what it was. Alright, well, let's find out. Let's try to make some external structures and see what that's like. Right, so I don't know what this bandit's going to do. He can't fight back. Obviously, we'll annihilate him. There's a lot of fighting. Genseric of the Vandals wants to talk to me. What's up? You are such a strong, wise leader and should be regarded as such. Is that it? There's no exchange to have or anything here? You're just like, hey, you rule. Okay, well, I appreciate it. Thanks, man. We are going to get murdered. I'm going to die. So, we definitely cannot make it back to the settlement. I'm going to try just running directly away from him. Okay, never mind. There is not a mountain pass. This doesn't go anywhere. I want to run over here and hit this deposit. Because there are bandits over here. But I guess since we know he wants to come back to the settlement, we probably want to... Alright, we did it. We wiped out an enemy. And now we want to go back and pillage that camp. So we're at the eastern edge of the map, I guess? This is where all the deep, impassable water is. An awful lot of denouncing going on. So, at this point, I'm reasonably happy with the professions that everybody is in. No, that's not true. I want somebody to become a weaver. We made some moves here, but it's probably time to retrain somebody as a weaver. So... is there a more detailed output screen? Each clan is made up of one or more families. Each consumes food. A new one joins every 6 months. As the game progresses, your food needs will continue accelerating, but each additional family provides a 5% bonus to resource production or combat power. Okay, well, that doesn't really affect our decision-making at all. What I'm curious about with our yields is just like, how much exactly are we getting out of like our guides, right? Resource production from all of these types of things increased by half. We have gatherers and wood collectors working, and reapers. Yeah, this guide seems pretty good. Potter is doing something similar, right? Resource production from gatherers, reapers, and hunters doubled. That is pretty good. And we just spent tools training these guys, and so it feels, especially with our tool shortage, feels bad to retrain them, especially since we need timber for buildings, for making our structures, but we really need weavers. Yeah, alright, I think I'm going to retrain these guys. That hurts a little bit. It's just like wasted tools. But we are not going to get absorbed in the sunk cost fallacy, right? And also, like I said, we're learning. This is how we figure out how to play well in future games. So, we need to make sure we are prioritizing a source of cloth in the future. Uh-oh. Clan Godefroy's committed a crime, and also that clan of hunters was just murdered. They have committed one crime, and as a result, the mood of all the other clans on the tile will be reduced by 1 level. And that's our settlement. What? Whoops, sorry about that. No hard feelings, right? Criminals. When a clan is punished, it is stripped of its profession and discipline, and its mood will permanently be reduced. Right-click to spend 50 parchment and remove all crimes from this clan. You can only do so in the settlement when you have an instructor. So if we punish them, that'll make everybody else's mood go back up. I'm gonna click it. You can punish Clan Godefroy when they're in your settlement by clicking this icon. That's how it is, huh? Okay, so they were punished. Their mood is down. So morale is decreased by 10%, resource production, everything goes down. But the rest of the clans in the settlement are not upset. No, you're still upset. Oh no, it says content now. Okay, I think punishing them was probably the right play. Unfortunately, it means we have to start training them again. It's going to take forever to train. Jesus. Well, we don't have anything else to be doing with our training. Chilly winter is coming. That's a shame. Oh, wait, maybe... Nope. Yeah, okay, this is a map border. Well, I guess let's go the other way, then. Turns out there are no fish in this water. Alright, so we'll pillage that. You, as a gatherer, you're coming over here to identify this deposit. You have very little to do. The world is a smaller place than I would have imagined. Maybe explorers are not that important. I know we didn't exactly rush to get one here. But maybe I still overestimated their importance. It's also possible that it's, different from game to game. We just generated an unusually small map here, or we're in a weird corner position behind some people. The Romans have provided us with 40 treasure. Right as the caravan arrives. Wasn't that nice of them? Wait, they didn't give me 40 treasure. Okay, horses. I have some horses. We stole these horses from the bandits. We could sell them. We could sell some flax to buy some parchment. We probably want to buy tools. The alcohol doesn't seem so important. Parchment is used to level up clans into discipline, train in some professions, declare your kingdom. Okay, so the parchment doesn't seem super critical. We need cloth way more than we need parchment. We'll sell some of our flax and just buy all of the tools and weapons and everything. So I need to get 26 more money together. Alright, well, we're well outfitted, that's for sure. We have some other enemies around here somewhere. I believe they will auto-encamp when identifying the same way as they do when foraging. We probably don't have to watch him too closely. I'm not expecting to find anything down here, but it doesn't hurt us to look, right? So, what do we need now? Partially, we don't know. At some point, we are going to need tool production. That is going to matter, right? But we don't know when. Because we got to have a source of iron first. We don't have coal. And part of our problem is we just have a lot of unidentified stuff right now. Surveyors can identify any kind of resources. They ignore the movement penalty associated with rough terrain, and create paths on map tiles. Okay, so they build roads. We could also research an upgrade to one of our existing units. Guides can spend parchment to upgrade. That's a pretty good upgrade. We could go buy the parchment from the caravan. They did have 5. We still have a lot of flax we could sell. We get parchment from the caravan and then use it to research this. I mean, we research the guide upgrade now. And then have some parchment on hand to actually use it. Because it seems like upgrading our guide would probably be a good idea. Guide is putting out some real resources. Or rather, helping other people put out some real resources. So I like the fact that you get some flooding with the weather. I like the fact that the weather has actual effects on the terrain. I would love to heal you. You've actually taken quite a lot of damage. So it's oil and cloth. Yeah, we got to get that weaver built. It's a shame that the punished clan is the one who's becoming the weaver, because they're being a real bunch of babies about it. So you're pretty dug in. I don't actually want to fight you. Yeah, that's awkward. Well, we could retrain the archer as something else, but I think if we do that, we'll effectively just lose our... Ooh. Hey, fish. Unfortunately, there is no way for our fishermen to get over here. Can I pull my fishermen back to the settlement? Because we could retrain them as a fisherman from the settlement now, and they'd be in the body of water that those fish are in. What if I want you to stop being the thing that you are? Like I said, is there a button that just shows me all of my clans, even the ones who are not currently in the settlement? That's the make notes button. Because this only shows us the settlement. Looks like maybe not. mean, there must be, right? Clans. Each clan can be trained in a profession. They have personality traits. Clans can have desires. They like to be happy. Who doesn't? Okay, a unit is a clan that has been trained in an active profession. So what we're looking for here is an easy way to keep track of our units. Warriors can capture and pillage enemy structures, require supply from their tile, and lose morale and health if the supply provided by a tile is less than they need. Okay, not really that helpful. Not the information I was looking for here. That's alright, we'll figure it out. So my guess is that we can't get these guys back into our settlement unless we move our settlement to somewhere along the body of water they're in. I don't really know what to do with you. We could dig in over here and just be ready for if the bandits come at us and try to disrupt our resource production. Ooh, that's an interesting area over there. Maybe we move in that direction eventually. You know, obviously, there is stuff over here that we may yet get value out of. Alright, so we learned that guide upgrade. Let's pop in here and apply it. So just mousing over this unit, it's not super obvious that they are upgraded. Like, we definitely upgraded them, right? The parchment has been spent. But I do wish it was a little clearer what their actual output is. Probably in here somewhere. A big part of learning any 4X game is learning where in the UI the stuff you need is. Because the games are complex. They can't not everything can be obvious. Alright, well, I am encouraged by this little area. This is by far the nicest land we have ever seen. Let's hope that there are actually resources over there. This is just research. This is just fame. We don't really need fame. Traders can produce a huge amount of treasure by constructing trading posts out of timber on junctions where rivers meet one another or a body of water. Well, I don't think we need that so badly. We're doing fine on treasure because we have been making a lot of flax and it's been selling very well. I could definitely see the value of a surveyor. That might be a thing we want to pick up a little bit earlier next game. Maybe skip explorers entirely and just try to get to surveyors. The surveyor seems to be an explorer, but better in every way. Oh, except explorers are the only ones who can explore deserted locations, right? So what would be next? What are we still lacking? Oh, you know what would be good? Can we get... Is that an agriculture thing? It might be an agriculture thing. There's a profession that can make oil out of flax, right? We should do some of that so that we can actually be able to heal our units. We need oil and cloth. We're currently training a weaver. Alright, we can switch somebody over to agriculture. I don't think I want to. Yeah. This is a one-time bonus that I can only do right now, right? I guess I could have waited a turn on that and done it when this other clan came in. I don't know how important the levels actually are, though. Like, we have a clan that's really high level in their thing. They're gaining XP, but it's taking forever. Like, when they get to level 10, we get to put an upgrade on them for free. But that's going to be a long time from now. So moving into a river space, into a stream, lose all move points after entering, And then you don't have any move points on the next turn either. I mean, this Reaper has a long, long walk ahead. It's not any more plants down here to... I guess we could just have them stop here. I think we can identify that deposit, right? Harvesters, winemakers, bread makers, beekeepers, farmers. Maybe I am not right about that pressers thing. Pretty sure they were called pressers. I guess, actually, you know what? We can see all of the things, can't we? Oil pressers. There we go. Hold on. Let's see if this is the only way to make oil. Oil is produced from olives or flax. This does not actually tell us how all of the professions that can produce it. But it looks like oil presser might be the only thing. All right, so we got to research something else green so that we get access to oil pressers. Harvesters make your gatherers and reapers more effective. Not a big surprise there. Food is not really a problem right at the second. Could make alcohol. Yeah, let's research farmers, because all this other stuff doesn't seem terribly relevant to our situation here. And this is another structure profession. It is taking a long time to identify this deposit. And Siegfried, the Meek Explorers. Yep, not a big surprise there. They start as explorers. Morale halved, cannot be trained in social professions, but never does annoying stuff. We don't really need an explorer. Also, Alboin of the Lombards just wanted to stop by and give me 10 treasure. So it would be rude not to accept. It would be double rude to tell him that his treasure is terrible garbage. Okay, thank you. I mean, that was cool. I like free money. Alright, yeah, it's just all deep water over here. Well, this fisherman is not useful. Ah, of course, this land is too nice not to be already inhabited, right? Alright, we're picking up a lot of things. So I'm learning about the resources that are important and how to get to them. Oh hey, we finally met Cerdic. This is Cerdic's land then, I assume? You know what's good for you, you'll offer me a token of your appreciation. So if we give him treasure, he will view us as submissive. It will reduce our reputation, but will increase our relationship level. I don't know what reputation actually is. Like global reputation. Okay. We give him food, it's pretty much the same. If we refuse, I will be marked as defiant, and he will hate us, but other people will respect us. And we could be defiant and hostile for even more reputation. I'm going to do that. Don't make me laugh. You fool. You have no idea how big of a mistake you've made. That's possible. It's possible that was a huge error. Alright, what's up? Clan Valdemar has some feelings. They would like to go back home, probably. Yep, they want to be inside the settlement or as a resident of a structure. Well, you're going to finish identifying that, because that's the rules. Right here we have an olive grove, which is a non-forageable thing. Oh, the tile's cold. Right, winter is coming. Well, I don't have a lot of stuff for you to do at the moment then, my friend. Not going to get not cold anytime soon. You know what? It's already late December. Actually, it is going to get not cold fairly soon. It is nice to be further south. Winter is affecting us less than it did last time. I didn't even notice how late in the year it had gotten. Why don't you just chill for a turn or two, I guess? Like, we could put them back in the settlement, but I do want them out there gathering. Doesn't make much sense to take them back into the settlement and train them in something else and then undo that in just a month or two. So we have a lot of people who are taking a little bit of damage from the weather. Can we gather? Okay, the wheat is a reaper thing. The gatherer cannot do this. Well, I think we're grasping this a little bit. As we're coming up to the end of this episode, I think what I might do is start a new game. Now that we have a better grasp of like what the early game is and what we need in it, it might be a good time to start a new game and try to do a little bit better at that stuff and set ourselves up better for the early game, the late early game, or the mid game, or whatever it turns out to be. We can train clans as farmers. One thing I would like to do before we stop is before we stop this game is train somebody as a structure profession. So like when we pull this guy back after he finishes identifying this deposit, let's turn him into a miner and have him go out and build a structure on that deposit that he's identified. You just stay encamped here until such time as we can actually gather that deposit. So Siegfried wants to be an explorer, but we don't really need another explorer. Make him a guide. Yeah, sure. Okay. So now that we have a weaver, every turn they're going to just convert flax into cloth. Is there a way to make them stop, aside from making them not a weaver? Like, can I tell them to pause in case I wanted to hold on to some of my flax? Not really, huh? There's not a lot of buttons for interacting with them here. If I click on them, it tries to... Oh, there's a stop work button. Prevents it from converting resources, but of course they obviously still have to eat and live. So yes, you can just pause the work of a clan. That's good to know. We wouldn't obviously do that in this situation, but that's a good thing to know. So, we still can't forage. You finished your deposit, so let's go back to the settlement with you. We've discovered salt. That's probably pretty important. Yeah, I think maybe it is the case that I needed to be more prepared to get into conflict with other clans, with other tribes, because we really are pretty limited in our settling area by the positions of all these other people. We found a group of vagabond warriors who wish to join us. We are now over our clan limit. What do we have here, though? Okay, an archer. Well, that's pretty cool. I don't know... Is there a penalty for being over the clan limit? Doesn't look like it. Alright, you, I guess, just start moving back. Honestly, we could probably just merge those guys, right? Let's do that. Still no foraging. Well... I wonder if it's always like this, because it does seem pretty rough here, right? Like, the early survival phase seems fairly difficult. We are very overwhelmed. Oh, hey, even more flax. But I cannot forage here, because it's cold. I cannot do work outside, because it is cold. Getting structures set up to do your work for you that can continue doing the work when it's cold seems to be pretty important as well. This is a thing we have not done any of. Alright, so you are going to enter the settlement. I know how happy this makes you. And you are going to retrain as a miner. We are going to build a structure. We have plenty of timber. Okay, what I was perceiving as a map boundary is in fact not a map boundary. It's just a boundary to the water down there. And honestly, I mean, you guys are probably just coming home. And that'll be a long walk for them. Yeah, maybe we should have moved east instead of south. Maybe that's what the thing is turning out to be here. But we have enough cloth to expand our clan limit now, which we should definitely do. Okay, and then does it cost... I assume it costs an escalating amount each time? Yep, it will cost 10 cloth next time, and probably 15 the time after that. Expect a scalding summer. Great. Weather is a real problem. Okay, so as a miner, your job is to go over here and set up a mine, provided that I understand anything about how this works. What do we want to do with this forager now? We don't actually have a lot of stuff to forage, I guess. If we were going to continue on, the smart thing to do here, or this gatherer rather, smart thing to do here would be to come home and train us something else. Yeah, the land to the east looks a little bit better. So here, I don't really want to retrain anybody. I'm pretty happy with everybody in the place as they are. We're kind of waiting on a new clan to arrive, and we've created a situation here somewhat by not having the cloth necessary to expand our clan limit, because otherwise we would have more clans right now. We were sitting at that limit for quite a while. We could train a clan in a discipline, but this costs cloth or parchment or something. Yeah, parchment, which we do not have. So I guess we're just producing treasure for a while. Definitely not ideal. Man, look at how much of each resource we're producing with each turn of foraging, though, right now. Thanks to all our guides and stuff. This is pretty cool. Alright, so next turn we can talk about setting up a building. I guess nobody's going to bother me up here. I'm just going to keep gathering all of the wood out of this forest. This is a very aggressive sort of gathering. You guys not do what you were... Oh, there are some enemies out here. We probably cannot fight them. We have a little bit of treasure to play with. So there's some fruit for sale, in addition to all the normal stuff. We don't really need food. We're doing okay on food, despite our large number of clans and our small number of gatherers, due to all of our efficiency. I guess parchment would be the thing that we would value at this point. We still don't really seem to have a lot of need for alcohol. All right, let's sell off some of that. Buy all of this. We have more tools and weapons than we need right now, probably. Although we still don't actually have a way of getting tools. So I suppose buying these would be a smart move. In case we suddenly need a bunch. We suddenly decide that we need a lot of a profession that you can only train with tools. And the settlement just keeps producing treasure for a while. Alright, let's see how constructing a mine works. Let's see if I was right in remembering that you have to do it in your settlement. Yeah, so it's grayed out. Cannot construct right now. Must be within your control. Okay, so we would, if we wanted to build a structure here, the deal is we'd have to pick up the settlement and move it over, or we would have to have watchmen build watchtowers. Watchmen are an honor profession, is that right? Yes. And they're available right away. Okay. So we're learning some stuff that we're going to pay a lot of attention to next time. Expanding our territory is an interesting idea. I guess we don't have to build the watchtowers in our territory, right? So once we've built a watchtower, it's probably permanent, but then when we pick our settlement up and move it away, we just have these weird little bubbles of influence in the places that we once were, watching over any structures that we've put down in them, which is kind of neat. We're going to go ahead and pack up the settlement and move it over there, just because I really want to do this. So you can encamp there. Hey, here's a question. I'm going to actually change up their orders here. Can explorers just get in the water? That's a thing we ought to know. I wonder if I could just hit finish turn. Like, do I actually have to press produce treasure, or if I finish the turn with nothing training, will it automatically do produce treasure? You just wait. They are coming to you. Fish seem to be rarer than I might have thought, but that could be that could just be a feature of this map, right? It's not necessarily the case in all games. I assume they did this because it's real good for them. No, it actually seems to have gone terribly. Okay, this is not interesting to me who is giving gifts to who if it's not, you know, if I'm not involved at all. Okay, here we go. I'm not getting the mouse over. Here, let's split the army. I wonder if it's because I have to have a military unit selected. Yes, these guys have no defense power. Huh, I don't know why they came over here and attacked. Apparently bandits will do suicidal attacks. Good to know. So no, explorers cannot just get into shallow water. So with fishermen having as little vision as they have, and explorers not being able to get in water, it seems like it's just really hard to explore water. Alright, if we move to right here and unpack, we keep this tile nice and safe to be on, and you can construct a salt mine. Harvest salt's valuable, and okay, so it'll produce 4 salt per turn, as opposed to, well, I don't know what our base mining rate was. I will go ahead and assume that this is more. Continues producing resources at 50% the normal rate after a deposit has degraded once, becomes permanently exhausted and shuts down after degrading a second time. Alright. Let's try... No, okay, I have to press a button or it won't let me continue here. Yeah, she's gathering 11 grapes per turn there. Or 11 olives per turn. That's pretty good. And Waldemar has become angry. Yeah, I know. Once they're inside the building that they've created, will that chill them out as the resident of a structure? Okay, so yeah, they'll be metalworking, they'll be resident of a structure. I think that'll make them happy. Oh hey, I found some fish. Forage for them. Well, it took an awfully long time to find fish. I was going to merge these guys back together for the sake of not having to give quite so many orders every turn. So watchmen are important. We got to get watchmen earlier. But now we actually have cloth coming in. We would probably have another clan or two if we had been a little bit more careful managing our clan limit. So we could actually have oil pressers or... Yes, Clan Waldemar is now happy. And so... If we have them abandon the structure, it stops working, right? Yeah, demolish it and return to the map. Okay, so it's a more efficient way of gathering, and I bet that it doesn't stop working when it gets too cold or too hot. They're just overjoyed with us now. All right, well, I think... What time of the year is it? It's early June. We think there's going to be a hot summer. I'm going to push on just a little bit further because I want to see what happens when tiles start getting scorched, if it actually does affect the building or not. So here, I mean, big surprise, we're going to produce treasure for another 2 turns. You are a gatherer. This is a reaper resource, right? Wheat. So I don't actually have anything for you to do. You're going to go to the settlement and become something else. Probably a miner, and then have them identify this other deposit down here. Okay, so you can't work. Tiles are becoming scorched. This tile has not yet. You can see the coloration. Probably just chill out here. I don't really have anything else for you to do. You also can't work. I think what I would probably want to do is pull this Reaper down here, where they're a little bit safer. We can use this time to travel, I guess. You guys just do your best to get back home. Hey, get over here. And nothing particularly interesting available this time. I guess let's buy all the parchment. Alright, so treasure's important. There's some refined resources that you will have frequent access to from the caravan that are going to be a pain to get at the beginning of the game. So the caravan's like the only source of those, a very important source of those. What do we actually use salt for? It can be traded. It can be used by professions like briner and cheesemaker to greatly increase food production. Okay. Clan Wulfric, local but disgraced, has joined our tribe. Great. I do love a disgraced clan. Cannot be ennobled. Likelihood of having desires halved, though. That's good. You are just waiting for your turn. Wulfric, you could be... You guys could be oil pressers, no? Yes. It would cost 10 tools to do this. I can do that. Turns out we need oil. You're not necessarily very good at oil pressing, but we need it, so somebody's got to do it. Guildmasters produce treasure for each clan you have in a settled profession in honor, including this one. Huh, that's interesting. There are a lot of settled food-producing professions here. Also, we can make fame. 10 fame per turn is kind of a lot. Pretty good. Alright, so we'd have these guys enter the settlement and retrain as something else. Although, right now, with the oil pressing thing going on, they're just going to sit idle for a while. Let's see if the scorched area continues to expand. I mean, this whole place is desert, right? So I'd expect most or all of it to become scorched. Well, it turns out it's not going to, because we can see it receding already. It's weird that they ask for orders every turn, even though it's probably because their supply is critical. And not in camp here because they moved a little bit first. Alright, let's see if the scorch continues to recede, then we are simply not going to learn this game. The Vandals have a message for us. They don't like us. Okay. Sometimes your neighbors will try to convert you to their religion if you are not their religion. You guys could probably chill out for a turn because your supply is in a spot. Alright, so things we need to get straight for next game. Number one, try to secure more military power a little bit earlier so that we can potentially battle other clans for resources. Because it seems like trying to just settle away from people to get resources peacefully is difficult. Number two, try to secure a source of cloth a little bit earlier so that we can expand our clan limit. And number three, don't make fishermen. Probably. Unless you can see some fish, probably don't bother to make fishermen. Alright, I think we have a good idea of what is coming up next. So, that is going to be it for us for today. Thank you all so much for watching. Come back next time, hopefully later today, for the start of a new game, and we're going to try to apply what we've learned here about the early game. And we'll see you then.